Y'all gonna make me have to go back out and come on. Hip hop gets a bad rap. You get it? But just as the African proverb says, until the lions have their own historians, the tale of the hunt will always glorify the hunter. And if we let mainstream media tell our story, they're only going to tell one side. They want us to believe something about ourselves, but I say no, they're wrong. You may believe that hip-hop is ghetto and ratchet. And I mean, I can be those things too. But hip-hop is also innovative. It's scholarly. It's genius. And we're those things too. So today, the Lions, we have historians. And we're going to talk about how hip-hop is genius and nothing else. You see, a wise man once said, rap is something you do, but hip-hop, that's something you live. And that right there is the truth. He said, I'm a part of hip-hop culture, so when I move, it moves. Just like that. It has art, scripture, social and cultural norms, so when I say hip, you say? I know that's right. And if by definition, genius is extraordinary intellectual power, especially as manifested in creative activity, then guess what? Hip-hop is genius. Because when a 12-year-old who's playing with his mama's records can create something as prolific as the Baby Scratch when she busts in the room and say, turn that music down, and turn it into a global phenomenon, that's genius. When a kid with a Sharpie can write his name on subway trains and light poles so much so that the New York Times just has to write about it, and all of a sudden, New York City becomes a canvas for the oppressed to say, I was here and I mattered. That's genius. And when a big brother who's DJing a party to raise money for school clothes for him and his little sister decides tonight he's going to try something new and use creative innovation, ingenuity, and an impeccable sense of timing to play 2 records back to back, extending the breaks and changing the way that we would listen to music forever, that is genius. But according to some folks, geniuses don't cuss or wear baggy clothes or rock big hoop earrings, right? It's a running joke in my family that when I was a newborn, my parents had to put me in my car seat in my dad's Monte Carlo SS and drive around the block with his system bumping the Ghetto Boys in order to get me to fall asleep. So when you ask me, when did I fall in love with hip hop? The answer is always. I wrote my first rap when I was 7 years old. My dad was an MC, and I wanted to be just like my dad, and so I decided I'm gonna do that too. He showed me how to structure bars and how to make lines rhyme. My aunt, who was an MC and a singer, gave me a close vision as to what walking in my power as a femc looked like. I performed with her for my first time when I was 10 years old, and you could not get me off of a stage after that. I mean, I was rapping at school dances and basketball games, and if there was a microphone in the house, I was on it. And my neighbor, who would later become my family, was the first DJ to go show to show with me as I mastered my ability to move a crowd. And he did not get paid, y'all. He wasn't getting paid. I wasn't getting paid. Nobody was making money. He did it all off the love. And see, that's some of the genius of communities of color. It's our ability to build villages based off of things like peace, love, unity, and having fun. Because on every corner of every city, of every country, of every continent, all over this planet, hip-hop lives. And that's because it speaks the language of the oppressed, of the have-nots. And one thing we've always known how to do is take nothing, make it into something, and then make you want it too. Just look at soul food. You gave us scraps, we made feasts. Oh, my art's not good enough for your museum? That's fine. I'll put it on your building then. You're taking away my music classes? It's all right. I'm freestyling and banging grinding on the lunch table. Extraordinary intellectual power, especially, is manifested in creative activity. That's genius. And hip-hop has the audacity to be genius. Now, like I told y'all, I wanted to be just like my dad. And his favorite rapper was Tupac, so my favorite rapper was Tupac. And if you know me, you know that I could get up here and do a whole TED Talk on Tupac, but that's not what we came here for. However, I was also 7 when Changes was on the radio. And so when Pac said, "It's time to fight back," that's what Huey said. 2 shots in the dark, now Huey's dead. I am 7, and I got questions. Who is Huey? Why did he get shot? Who are we fighting? And like a genius, I started to ask those questions. And between asking my parents and asking Jeeves, I learned about the Black Panther Party and their 10-point program and their free breakfast program and their demands for land, bread, housing, education, and freedom. And all the other liberators that my school books were afraid of. And when Tupac wrote Letter to the President, he taught me that it is our duty to hold our elected officials accountable and to always use our voice. The ability to take social justice, civic action, history, weave it together, put it to a fire beat, and spark the intellectual curiosity of a 7-year-old, that's genius. You can't tell me it's not. Now, as a young person, coming from the kind of place that I come from, life is not free from trauma. Death, drug use, poverty, pain, all of these things are very real. And as someone who was born with the gift and the curse to feel everything so deeply, these experiences started to take a toll on me. Life as a shorty shouldn't be so rough, but as the world turned, I learned that I had something called anxiety and complex PTSD. So when Scarface said his mind was playing tricks on him and spoke of his paranoia and his need to sleep protected in his own home, I could hear PTSD, and I could hear anxiety and depression and survivor's guilt, because it wasn't normal that my friend died when we were only 13 years old. And I didn't have the words to describe how I was feeling or how I was starting to look at the world around me a little bit different. And when Queen Latifah said, "Who you calling I knew when we was playing, it's cool, but don't you be calling me out my name." See, she told me straight up, a man don't really love you if he hits you. And I needed that when the love in my life turned into violence. Some MCs didn't even know that they were giving me tools to regulate these emotions. They thought that they was just having fun because when Mace said, breathe, stretch, shake, let it go, he was giving me a way to calm my somatic nervous system. And when Fabulous said, breathe, 1 into the 2, 2 into the 3, 3 into the 4, then you gotta. He was giving me a mantra to calm my stress and anxiety when I was feeling overwhelmed. And when all that pressure and all that pain got to be too much, DMX, he told me to live is to suffer, but to survive, well, that's to find meaning in the suffering. And he prayed with me. And he showed me that God listens even to the most imperfect of people. The ability to take experiences like trauma, abuse, faith, mental health, and create something that's not only heard, but it's felt, that's genius. And so, how can we harness the genius of hip hop in our work? Educators, I'm gonna talk to y'all real quick. Tupac, Kendrick Lamar, Queen Latifah, KRS-One, use them in your classrooms to draw parallels from the past to the present. When you're creating lessons on alliteration and personification, when you're making math word problems for your students to solve, if cultural relevance is the key, hip-hop has the door wide open. All you gotta do is come on in. Counselors, I often say that music is the act of taking what's inside of you and putting it outside of you to share in the human experience. Cognitive restructuring through lyrics and bar writing, mindfulness and meditation through instrumentals. Hip-hop has been talking about mental health from Grandmaster Flash's The Message all the way to right now with Doechie's Anxiety. The material is there. Use it. And to those in academia, hip-hop practitioners are here. And our culture, rich in social commentary and truth-telling, is worthy of academic study and respect. The global impact of hip-hop can no longer be ignored. Our story, our voices, our culture, our history is deserving of being uplifted and documented. Now, I can go on and on, profession by profession, but the reality is there are hip-hop practitioners that are out here doing dope work. Connect with them, talk to them, bring them to the table, and make sure you pay them well, because we're not going out like that no more, okay? Because see, when we get to tell our story, you can't deny the genius of hip-hop. It puts rhythm in our step if we want to dance. And if we want to paint, it gives us a spray can. It's a space and place for us to teach the children, wear our clothes backwards, wear masks, play villains, make up dances with our cousins, break down glass ceilings. You can hear the genius if you take the time to listen. Hip-hop makes us think, create and solve problems in ways other folks wouldn't think to solve them, holds us close through pain, lets us speak on struggle. And if used correctly, it keeps the youth out of trouble. I know you feel what I'm saying, so say it like you mean it. When I say, what's hip-hop, y'all say? Genius! Thank you.